owned by buying and a Bati
Bati
boy
boy
head,
head,
not knowing what that means.
Right.
The mafia dead. Just trying to call them
That's right.
JD, I'm Kiana. I'm Precious. I'm not sure, like, what content you take on the internet, but if you ever go to like the comment section on like Instagram or Facebook, have you been seeing the term black fatigue?
Yeah.
No, you haven't, Precious?
I
I've been
have.
seeing that term a lot. People have been commenting black fatigue and saying press button, and people would like when they would see, something that showcased African Americans in a derogatory way. My thing is, right? I've been seeing a rise of just more racial tension on the internet and people
Absolutely.
feeling comfortable. Like
Yeah.
even on comment sections right now, I could pull up on Instagram on my page. I have over 9,000 likes on a comment just because I said, I'm actually show you. But what do you think we can do to like combat against this internet hate now? People, white supremacy, or people feel so emboldened because I see these new Instagrams, they never get taken down. They could put up this rhetoric all day. The chuds, I want to discuss that here.
So my thoughts and sentiments on that is that I really do. I have been wanting to get people together to actually go against Mark Zuckerberg, because not just for the racial slurs, but there is also we are battling against social media with like all the crime and all the violence and homicides that happens right on social media, the things leading up, like in so many words, premeditated murders that actually unfold right before our eyes on social media. But social media is not like, they're not held to the same standards that a regular citizen is held to, that regular community members is held to. What I did notice was a lot of Caucasian mothers got together, and family members got together and was able to take him all the way to the Supreme Court because their children were committing suicide off of certain things with social media. So, I mean, they were able to stick together enough to say, hey, we need to go after him. And they actually got some, motion from that. And I feel like our communities need to do the same. We cannot be afraid to go after big billionaires. We cannot be afraid to go after these big platforms that's allowing these things to happen in our communities, because certainly they let certain things be seen on social media. Like, you rarely ever see prominent white children fighting. You rarely ever see that. You rarely ever see white on white crime. And we know that it happened, but you rarely see it. And if you do see it, they'll take it off so quickly. If you call somebody a orange orangutan, you're in Facebook jail. But if you I'm sorry, if you are basically trying to, educate the people on the voting, educate people on black rights, educate people that look like us, they will lock you up and take your, everything.
Quick,
So
fast.
yeah,
So bad. Listen,
and I think
our
Quick,
it
first
loops in
conversation,
with the
our first conversation with JD, how long was I blocked off of Facebook? Like 30 days, right, bro?
Oh, they clapped you up. Yeah, they clapped you up. You was good.
Oh,
You was out
and
there.
they kept me on lock.
You was
yeah.
out there.
And they will, and until we start in our own communities fighting and standing up against it, it's just going to continue to happen. Because to me, the black and brown and the minority are the most vulnerable neighborhoods. Like, we
Yeah.
allow everything in our neighborhoods. Anybody can come and set up and do anything in our neighborhoods,
They
and
putting up the
it's just
AI cameras
allowed.
now,
Yeah,
and
it's
and
like
they testing them there.
we welcome everybody and everything, but you cannot go to prominent neighborhoods and just do what you want. You
Right.
cannot.
Mhm.
They neighborhoods are guarded. You are just not about to go open up a liquor store. You are not going to charge 50 cents for
That's
every debit purchase that you use. Like, you are not going to do any of the things that you can get away with and do in our communities.
absolutely. And I want to call
Very
on you
true.
for this because you're such an advocate in your community. What particularly can we do to kind of get this knowledge out and get people to really start thinking and following through with action, right? Because there's a lot of people that feel the way that we do, but they also feel like my hands are tied. What can I possibly do? I don't have the power. And we know that the power is in numbers. So what steps can a regular citizen, right, a Black member of the community who knows that their vote is being diminished little bit by little bit, how can they help to get the word out, and how can they spread awareness on what's happening and action behind it?
So I think that you first have to start mobilizing and organizing within your own communities. While everybody runs to Alabama, that's great, that's fine. But everybody can't go to Alabama. So it's place, instead of that being the meetup place, people can do it within their own cities, their own communities. It can't be one blanket statement. So the way that you would talk about it to the elder, the elder audience at the nursing home, you wouldn't talk about it the same way to the younger people at the barbershops or the younger people on the corners. You have to know your audience, and you have to make sure that you're not always speaking in political terms. You have to actually explain it to them the way that they'll get it. For example, we have a terrible bill called Senate Bill 888. This bill is going to allow, well, they passed it already in Missouri, but it allows our young kids to be fingerprinted and entered into the system. And basically it'll follow them their whole, for their whole lives. So it'll affect them going into the service. It'll affect them getting scholarships. And we have one Black Democrat to vote for that, and he's now running for office. He's running for office for our St. Louis County Executive Office. So instead of, using just the broad terms, you have to explain to him, look, he want to put y'all in jail. He want to put the kids in jail. And now he's trying to be the county executive, meaning he will be over the county. So this is going to happen. Y'all butts going to be in jail, blah, 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 blah. So you have to know how to make sure what you're reiterating to them, that they are getting it and they're understanding. I was having a conversation with some youth, and they were saying, oh, we don't vote because our votes don't matter. I said, our voting is powerful. So as I'm steady explaining to them, and using, basically what I do is use examples of things that they like and things that they like to do, and let them know, you don't go vote, you won't be doing this somewhere. You won't be driving around in a straight. You won't be driving around in a Hellcat. You won't be able to do any of that. So once they, they took heed to it, and then they started seeing, they said, oh, we see, like, they trying to put us back in slavery. Yes. Do you want to be back in slavery, or do you want to be a free person? Get your butt out and vote, and go tell, your other
2026 VPR. It's crazy that we're having this conversation. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so it's like you have to mobilize within your own communities. Everywhere you go, bring up that topic. When you are at the nail shop, bring up the topic. When you are at the restaurant, bring up the topic. Like, everywhere you go, this needs to be the motto of everybody that's trying to get the information out, is to bring up that topic. I don't care if you are at Bible study, bring up the topic. When it is your turn to speak, bring up the topic. That needs to be the topic. Like how things go viral and people talk about it everywhere. Let Chris Brown do something. Everybody's talking about it, from the restaurants to the grocery stores to the police stop. Excuse me. Everybody's talking about it. So everybody should be talking about this. That needs to be the topic. When you meet somebody and, you are introducing yourself, you meet somebody for the first time, that needs to be the topic. For the next 30 days at least, your topic should be about the voting. Your topic should be about the crisis that we're in. That should be the topic, and the conversation starters at the grocery store. You tell somebody, hey, you can get in front of me in line. Hey, are you voting? Did you hear about what they doing? That needs to be the topic and the conversation starters.
I agree. And I just want to point out, you said something that was so poignant to me. You said how people can move into our neighborhoods and do any old thing, right? On the corporate side, right? But interestingly enough, everybody can't just walk through the neighborhoods, right? Because if you're a dude and you just pull up, the homies are going to check you, are going to want to know where you're from. If
Keanu, it might be different.
It's not, though, because it's about owning the block, right? It's about, who are these people coming into our neighborhood? If we could change that structure of thinking, the same exact way, but take it from the street mentality to who are these people that are coming, that are moving into our neighborhood? What destruction are they bringing to our neighborhood? Okay, let's go talk to our community leaders and find out what can be done. I mean, you said it's, I remember, I think it was Billionaires Row in Manhattan. They were trying to build a homeless shelter. They shut that shit down so fast. All those, you know, white rich people got together. They made sure that a bill was signed so that there would be no transients on their block or within their community. So that was one less housing center for people that were on the streets. It had to go somewhere else, right? Things can happen when you get them done. Like you said, the mothers all coming together. I see it on my feed. Was your child, you know, mentally injured by Twitter? You could be blah, blah, blah for a lawsuit. So, I mean, I completely agree with you. JD, what are your thoughts on that? And then I also want to talk about this slush fund. If we could get into that.
So one, I got three things that Precious brought up that support why we're doing this together. One was that, you know, they're coming after your votes. So if they're coming after your votes, then obviously it's important to them. So it should be important to you. I'm from the school of the vote never mattered because it was a selection, not an election. Now it matters to me more because I'm focused on the group that says the voting doesn't matter, because now if it didn't, they're taking it away. So then if you want to say F you and my vote doesn't matter, then go and do what voter dedication is all about and go to the Black community and find out what's important to them and vote for them. Since the system is still bullseyeing them as the target of harm, go and do that. Find out why, what is going on in this Black community that we want to stop from so much, yet we have all these problems caused by our culture. That's one. Two, the idea that that Brian Williams, who she mentioned, right, has a lot of white liberal support. And so here you are. If this is why I'm saying, don't just make the decision on your own. Make the decision about going to the Black community and find out who's important to them. Because there's a lot of white liberals that'll be like, I know who to vote for that's best for these Black folks, because they've been going into Black neighborhoods saying, I got the answers for you for so long. And